You are starting your city, but you realize that when you are starting your city, that you have a lot of money debt. So in this video, I will give you 5 tips on how to prevent money debt in your city. Start small, and I'm going to just show you on how we can start really small. And I'm just going to set it on one-way roads. This is really important, and you have these really smaller roads, and you can see that you have really big roads right here. So it doesn't really matter on which road you're really using. It does matter on how it is placed. So you need to start small. And I'm just going to do a 2-lane one-way road, and I'm just going to set that on further on. Then to the other side as well, set that back. Now you've started somewhere out, and you can start with a lane coming off here to the rest of your city. Well, if you want to have a nice sort of interchange junction, so wait up, right there and right there. So now you've done this, and this is a really cheap way to set your roads right. So this is really starting small and really having it on cheap. So now I'm going to do the one road, and I'm going to connect it up there. Well, it's basically not connecting it up now because it is too small, so I need to make it a little bit longer. That's not a problem at all because we do have quite some money, but not a whole lot of money, so we can actually set this up. And now this is alright. So then down there, need to connect that up right there, and then from right there I need to connect it up right here, and from right there I need to connect it up right there. So this is your basic interchange. You can really use this to further on in your build. So what I will do now is grabbing a simple road that goes in both directions, like this one, and I'm going to do it page down. This is far enough, and now you can start building like this. So little bit of height difference there. That's not a problem at all. We are going to change this. A little bit more down. Alright, is that good enough? That's good enough. So this could be basically your residential. And on the other side could be your industry. Because you see here, right on the bottom, you have the residential need. So you could set here on residential. This is really starting small. You can really do these things just to create a simple road, and you just don't having any problems with your traffic because it is nice and flowy. What I am going to do, and that is just my way of thinking about it, is this: I'm going to connect these ones up so that it is nice and they can continue on and go back out of the city. Second tip is building placements. Yes, these are really important for your city. There are quite a few things that you need to know about building placements, because if you build your buildings right here, this is going to be completely fine. It's no problem at all. That's really fine. You can actually have a lot of space right here, and you can actually add some. Now I need to look for them again. I know that they are here somewhere. I always forget where they are. And that is parking spaces. You can add these parking spaces, and your traffic will be completely fine. They can park their cars here, and the residential is right beside. If you do it on a busy road like this, it's not going to happen. This is getting really chaotic. If you do it on this side of roads, you can add them right here. I wouldn't suggest it. It's really busy, and you don't really have enough space to put a parking spot in there as well. So, and people will alongside the road park the cars, and you don't want that to happen because more of traffic problems can create and people can't go to their destination. And when they can't go to their destination, you really have a problem with money. When people can't deliver their stuff to commercial businesses, then you won't get any money into your city because they can't pay any and they will go away from your city. Then you will have abandoned buildings, and those do cost a lot when you bulldoze them. So don't really want that to happen, so don't build them alongside a busy road. Build them alongside a, well, not a busy road and in a residential road. You can see the difference in just the hierarchy in these roads. This is the highway road, for example, and this is the residential road. Then keep it cheap. Yes, I mean it, really keep it cheap. You can do this with these roads. These are really cheap and will keep it cheap. You can connect them up and only expand when you absolutely need to. So this is how you are actually going to keep it cheap. Do you need water and electricity? Try to look if there is some electricity around. If not, go with the cheapest option, like wind turbines. These are only 7,500 every time you want to place another one, but they don't have a lot of power output. That's really quite not a whole lot. And for if you're starting a small city, then it is completely fine. They will work just with one or two, but on how you are growing bigger and bigger and bigger, you want to invest in a more better way. You can add solar power plants, which cost a whole lot, 100,000, and you probably don't have that when you start a small city. You also have these ones, the wind turbine with solar panels. These cost 15,000, so yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but they do have electricity also in them, and you can see if this city has a lot of wind. They need to be placed in water though, so that you have to keep in mind, but you can place them right here, right beside each other, and they will electricity themselves up. Then you need a power line. Yes, a power line is really a need. You need to have this all the way across to here, and now it cannot cross because of the space, but now the people have electricity right here, and you only have to do it this far because right alongside these roads is going to be residential, so they will power themselves up alongside. When you are going to start with industry, you can delete these power lines and they will cross automatically over to the residential. If not, just do only 1 or 2 meters of these power lines. It will save you some money. Another thing with water, keep it as short as possible. And you do need some things. You need a water pumping station, so that's 3.5, a little bit less, thousand per unit, and a water drain pipe. It's also 3.5. Do these in a sort of order. When you have a water drain pipe and the water pumping station, you will need to know on which side your water is flowing. Yes, and your water is, well, not really flowing right here, but here it is. If you put a water drain pipe right here, this is your poop water, so really keep this in mind. This is your poop water, so place it on the left side from your water pumping station. Why? Because the water is flowing from right to the left, and your poop water is going from the right to the left. So when you drain water, it's not going to drain up any poop water. I would also suggest keeping it a little bit further away than I did now, but do it in these orders when on how the situation of your water flowing. So water doesn't really flow here, so the poop water is going to stay in one place, and that is just not happening. So do keep in mind that these need to be a little bit farther away, and they need to be connected up to each other. Once you did that, you can really go straight across to your residential area, and you just need to go once this, and you only spend about 10,000 around these areas. That's all you spent basically, and this is how it looks, just straight across to the necessary area. I know some of you really want to do it nice and neat and under the road. Well, if you have a little bit more money, you can probably do that. If you don't do this. Don't put them under the road. It's ending up with a little bit more money and a little bit more length that you need your pipes to be at. So if you want to be cheap in this game, you really want to do them like this, as short as possible. You can also do it from right here. This was even smaller, the length of the pipes, so you could do this as well. And I need to set this up right. If you have a water drain pipe right here, you're going to set up your water drain pipe right there. The water is flowing from the right or from the upper to the lower, and your water pumping station could be right here, because no poop water can go up here. It cannot go against the line of water. Right. If you understand what I'm saying, yes. I'm trying my best to explain it here, but this is how I would basically do it. And setting it a little bit further away, because poop water will be around these areas. So, yes. Don't also put them too close to the residential area, because you will have noise pollution and all other pollution as well. Yes, this gives pollution. And these give noise pollution. As you can see here, this is quite a high noise pollution. As for this, it's also quite high noise pollution, because this is going to be your highway road and really a busy road. So keep that in mind, that your residential doesn't really want a high noise pollution. Otherwise, they will abandon their houses and will go away to another city. So keep that in mind. Alright. That was on the keep it cheap and building placement and the water and electricity. Now, the road network and traffic jams. Really, those are two tips. The road network. Yes, a road network is really a tough thing. I even have some problems with it, and even if it doesn't seem like that, I really do have problems with my road networks. I sometimes do not know on how I should place things. It's really sometimes tough in this game. And what I would suggest is you have your city entrance right here. I would suggest doing this highway roads all the way across to your city. Well, if you can't do that because you don't have really enough money, then I would suggest doing it as far as out as you need it to be. So I didn't really quite do it that far out, and just have this residential road right here and the industry on that side. That's good enough for now. This is only the place you need for your residential, because your city is quite small in the beginning. If you have enough money, you can obviously make it bigger quite fast, but if you don't have that, really start small. And this is also with your road network. You need to start small with this and play tactics with this. Alright, another tip that I could give you on the road network is, when you are building these highway roads, this is your central road. Those need no interruptions in your central roads. And why? It's actually quite simple. If you do have interruptions, that will cause traffic problems. You don't want that to have, so don't do any interruptions. So right here, you do have some interruptions, because it is another road adding, and you don't have a 3-lane road right here. So what you could do is set this one up to one-way road, or just a one-lane road. You do have these in the game, and it is actually as a highway road, but that is not really a problem, you can set this up in a one-way road. Just as far as this. You can see right here that this road is splitting up in two. One going on, one going off. This is alright. This is fine. So I need to do that on this one too. One going off, one going on. One going on, one coming up is getting in two. And same from here. One going on there, two. So this is really the road network that you should have in your city, and it doesn't really matter on which road you use. You can see I just pretty well use normal roads right here. And it doesn't really matter as long as you have the road network and the mathematics of the roads right. It doesn't really going to clog up. That's what I've realized in the cities that I've played in. You can really basically use any type of road as long as you do the so coming on, then needs 3. One going on, then needs 2. Right? Something like that. And for this is not going to be your busiest street, so this is probably still fine. It is going to do one off, one on, and everything like that. This is not going to be your busiest street, but if it is going to be your busiest, then I would suggest upgrading these roads to a 2-lane. Then one goes off, one goes on. You can set even timed up traffic lights or just some priority signs. And if what you do this, and this is on the traffic jams tip. Go to Traffic Manager. Yes, Traffic Manager is a mod and you really need this. Why? Because you can set up the roads and you can do that in vanilla game. You can do priority signs to the limit in the vanilla game, but not really a whole lot. So if you just don't want to have traffic jams, then I would suggest installing TMPE. That is Traffic Manager. I will leave a link down below. So what you're going to do is, if you really don't want to struggle with your traffic, and I normally do want to struggle with my traffic because I really like that and I find it really interesting and stressful. But you can do toggle automatic vehicle despawning, and it's now enabled. So that means that when a lot of traffic is going, a lot of traffic will despawn when this mod is enabled. Because when you have traffic jams, they are going to disappear by themselves. If you disable this mod or this feature, then they will not despawn and they will stay. So you will get a lot of bigger traffic jams. If you like that, due to you, fine. If you don't, turn this one on. So yes. You can also clear traffic with TMP. If your traffic is really that bad, you can clear your traffic. And you also have some other lane arrows, some priority signs, time traffic, and even lane connectors. Yes, I will not really explain to you this anymore, and I will suggest you watch this video on how to solve traffic jams with the TMPE, the Traffic Manager mod, and way other tips that you can use for your traffic jams. I would suggest watching this video.